Before I start this list, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashim, Rukwakadash. Double to the apostles, great minister, who rule and teach well. Shalom to the 144,000 men that's pushing and believing His word in all true sincerity and sacrificing lives and wills to do so. Shalom to the men, women, and children that's tuning in and listening. And shalom to the Israelite foreigners scattered abroad on all four corners of the earth. The Heavenly Father name is Yahweh. His only begotten Son name is Yahweh Shai. And Lord willing, this video is edifying, quick and straight to the point. This video right here will be entitled Men Have to Teach You. And that's just plain facts. And outside of that just being plain facts, how else would you learn these scriptures if men aren't teaching you? And the Lord obviously told Ezekiel that, and I'm going to grab that in here in a second. But in this truth, if you claim yourself to be in this truth, you have to be taught by a man. You cannot teach yourself. You have to be taught. You have to be brought up under the yoke. And that's exactly what a lot of individuals have a problem with. And they don't like to be told, oh, yeah, a man is... And this another thing, too. In this truth, if you cannot accept that there is men that are over you, that's not overlooking you in a sense like overbearing or micromanaging, but there are men set up for to save your souls. And that's something that is obviously something that, and it makes sense too, because you have to think, being taught and growing up in Babylon, generationally taught that everything on the Bible is fairy tales and shit. And not just that, what you learn in Babylon the Great, now everything in Babylon the Great ain't wicked. You know, not everything you learn here, let me say this, not everything you learn in Babylon the Great is wicked. Obviously, you got to pay your bills. Obviously, you can't be an asshole to everybody. Obviously, you know, things like that. But when it comes to this truth, when it comes to this word, you have to be taught. You cannot just... You can't go and do the things that are not everything that's written in this book. And, you know, everything is lawful but expedient. It may be lawful but not expedient. You have to be taught by another man. And Jake got a problem with that. And, you know, in Babylon, that's another thing. Edom is crafty as fuck. She's crafty by putting it in the minds of Jake. Oh yeah, nobody better than you. You basically can't be told shit. You can't be taught shit. You can't be told you wrong. You know, things like that. Things like that is exactly what keep Jake back from being able to become a better individual in spiritually and mentally, and overall in life. That's a divide and conquer technique. Esau, Edom has, and then not even Jake. Jake was like that anyways. You know, Jake think they can't be told what to do, and if Jake being told what to do, they don't like it. They get mad at it. They scoff at it, and you know that's how Jake is. But anyway, I'm doing this video because it was a video that the Elder Menatazabah did, and the Elder Menatazabah did in GMS, South Carolina, and it was a video saying this woman, why she fell out the truth and not a part of Hebrew Israelite culture or whatever. This ain't a culture. This is a lifestyle. This is the way we live. This is not just this is not a trend. This is how it is. You know, granted, now she was dealing with some individuals from IOIC and whatever, but that statement she made at the end of the video where it said, y'all got to teach yourself or something to that measure. You cannot teach yourself. You cannot. That is clearly being shown and taught. But anyway, I'm going to get these scriptures. I ain't going to keep talking. So this is Ezekiel chapter 34, and I'll start verse 7. Not verse 7. This is Ezekiel chapter 34, verse 30. Thus shall they know that I, the Lord Yahweh, their power and with them, and that they, even the house of Israel, are my people, saith the Lord Yahweh, power. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your power, saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashim Shai. And yeah, the Lord said this because why? You have to have men teaching. You have to. It did not even that. You could go back in ancient days. Women didn't teach men. Men taught men. Now, obviously, in the household, your mom teaching you things or whatnot. But even then, mothers take a back seat to a lot of things when it came to the father. You do your motherly duties, you be a mom. But when it comes to that father and mother role, the father oversees everything. And a lot of men have a problem with other men teaching them. So in order for you to be able to grow in this truth and this faith, you coming in, you have to be taught by an elder brother, or just the elder in general. Some brothers some brothers grew up spiritually right directly under the apostles. You cannot come into this thing thinking, oh, I'm going to just learn on my own. No, because you're learning from a Western mindset. You cannot think with a Western mindset and reading this Bible, this book. Actually, wisdom of this world. Because ultimately, when you come in this truth, you are still growing, you still detaching from that Western mindset. Give me 1 second. Wisdom, let me see. Let me see. Nope. Where is it? Okay, this 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 19. Oh no, verse 18. Let no man deceive himself. If any man among you seemeth to be wise in this world, let him become a fool, that he may be wise. Become a fool that he may be wise. For the wisdom of this world is foolishness with Yahweh B'Shem Shai. For it is written, he taketh the wise in their own craftiness. And ultimately, with everything that you've learned in the world, a vast majority of the generational things you've learned, you have to break those yokes around you. You have to grow and break those stigmatisms. That's one of the main reasons why you have to be taught. When you come in this truth, you cannot think with a Western mindset and claim you can read the Bible on your own. You cannot think that. That's what a lot of Christians do. They don't actually teach their members like they should. And not just that. Men are supposed to be the teachers. Men are set up to be teachers and be teachers. And that's exactly what the Lord said. So that's why that was written in Ezekiel. But the wisdom of this world, what you learned in this world, ultimately, a vast majority of that shit is bullshit. And you have to, that's why another thing too, when it says a little leaven leaveneth the whole lump, you have to throw away a lot of the shit that you learned. It's not okay to hunch on somebody else's woman while they don't know. It's not okay to be out here smoking weed. It's not okay to things like that. It's not okay to be idolater. However, it's not okay to be a mo. Things like that. That's exactly that Western mindset. It teaches everything contrary to what the Lord has written. So how can you say you can read the Bible on your own, especially for women? Women already are the weaker vessel. And that's written towards men, so how much more so women? We have to all be taught by a man, no matter if it's the apostles taught by men. The seven was taught by the men. So it makes sense. It's not just, men are narcissistic. No, it's set up that way through the Spirit. And when you go into ancient times, men did the teaching, men did the leading. And a lot of you women have a problem with that. And men do too. And that's another reason why a lot of our people are going to be destroyed. Because why? They did not want to listen. They did not want to listen to instruction. So I'm going to go to Sirach chapter 51. Ooh, that's a lot right there. This is Sirach chapter 51 and verse 26. So, verse 26. Put Put your neck under the yoke and let your soul receive instruction. She is hard at hand to find. And yeah, that goes into wisdom. But ultimately, you have to receive instruction from men that are older than you or younger than you. It don't matter about age. That's another thing. Jake think age mean everything. It do not. Experience means a lot. There's brothers that are very experienced and they're only 28 years old compared to somebody in the world that's 40 plus. And that's how it is. A lot of men think, oh well, he younger than me and he can't teach me shit. And that's foolishness. That's straight utter foolishness. Now granted, there's things that older men may know, but when it comes to the truth and there's rank and order this thing, it's obviously evident that not everybody is able. Not everybody. You cannot. No, not everybody. You cannot sit up here and be if you don't understand something, that's why brothers say ask. If you're not sure what you just read, you gotta ask, what the fuck did you just read? And if you don't understand it, ask a brother, ask an elder. There's reasons of why let things be done decently and in order. That is decently and in order at its finest. That's exactly what we have to do. Because why? This is Jacob's trouble out here. You're not gonna be able to, hey, bro, what this mean? You ain't gonna be able to do that. So why would you put yourself in a predicament of where, oh, well, I'm gonna learn myself. Like Jake don't do that, and women gonna learn the hard way. Men are gonna learn the hard way. That's why a lot of 2/3 got to be eradicated. So I'm gonna get this other scripture in 1 Corinthians because women gotta learn order too. Women are very out of order. Men are very out of order. And when you come in this truth, you learn order. You learn order. So this is 1 Corinthians chapter 14. I start at verse 33. For Yahweh B'Shem Yahushua is not the author of confusion, but of peace, as in all churches of the saints. Let your women keep silence in the churches, for it is not permitted unto them to speak. So you women cannot speak. You women cannot do anything that a man does in the church or in general. That goes for life. That goes for church. And by church, I mean in the congregation, in the congregation. For it is, but they are commanded to be under obedience, which means you have to be under the obedience of a man, meaning you have to learn from a man. And I'm gonna keep reading. As also saith in the law. Yeah, so that's law. You women don't like y'all, and it's another thing. You women, y'all do not listen to instruction. It's crazy. It ain't crazy, but it's funny because teenage women don't even like to listen to instruction. So a lot of you women are mentally at that mental age of a teenager. That's another reason why y'all have the issues y'all got, because y'all don't like to listen to instruction. Men don't either. You have to learn under somebody. You have to learn under a man. You cannot teach. You cannot teach yourself. You going off, and it's too late in the game to be doing that. Verse 35, and if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home. So you women have to learn from a man. If a man have to learn from a man, a woman have to learn from a man, and that makes sense. That is completely, there's nothing wrong with that. In this truth, you have to put your pride aside and be like, you know what? Somebody younger than me going to teach me. Somebody in the same age group is going to be teaching me something about the Bible. And it is nothing wrong with that. You have to be okay with being humbled down. In this truth, you're going to be humble. You're going to be humble. You have to learn some way. You can't just sit up here, oh yeah, I'm just doing your own thing, get you destroyed. It gets you in situations that you do not want to be a part of. For it is a shame for a woman to speak in the church. So it's shameful for you to even utter your voice in the church, to be talking. So men speak in the church. Let me see. Yeah, that's pretty much it on that. But yeah, no, you women have to learn just as men. And then also, I'm gonna grab this X too, because the brother brought this out on Friday on the sit down, because I like it, because you have to understand what you read. You have to know what you're reading, and that's been on the spirit too for brothers and elders. Brothers been saying, elders and brothers on down, you have to understand what you're reading. You have to know what you're reading. You have to qualify what you're reading. You have to comprehend what you're reading. A lot of individuals do not understand what they read. So when in Christianity, you would think a flaming fucking sword. No. You would think Adam and Eve was actually naked and covered themselves with leaves. That's not literal. There were not no literal fucking giants the size of skyscrapers on this earth having sex with women. You know, that's another thing too. And there's truth, you have to dump that Christianity bullshit aside. Throw that shit away. Do not fuck with Christianity at all. A lot of us came... No. A vast majority of us... Now, granted, some brothers probably grew up in Islam and all of that. Some brothers probably did all of that and whatnot. You know, some brothers did, some brothers did. But a vast majority of us grew up in Christianity. So what we was taught in Christianity is what we think we know, and it's shit completely off. A virgin birth. Yahushua was not born of just a woman and an angel that had sex with Mary. No, it's not like that. You have to learn, and it's just that simple. And if you can't get with the program, then you're a part of the problem. So, this is Acts chapter 8. I'm gonna close out after this. This is Acts chapter 8 and verse 30. And Philip ran thither to him and heard him and read the prophet Isaiah, and said, understand thou what thou readest? And he said, how can I, except some man should guide me? And he desired Philip that he would come up and sit with him. So you have to think. Philip asked Isaiah that he had to be taught, he had to be learned. You cannot do it that lone. That's why brother said that lone wolf spirit is not good. Now, granted, obviously, you know, we have to work out our own salvation, but you being alone, thinking you know shit, you got it all, and you don't, that's a problem. In Babylon, that's what we've been taught and raised. That's what we know from Esau Edom. Oh, you got to handle it. You got to do everything on your own. You can't never ask for help. Now, granted, in certain situations, you cannot ask for help. Yes, to an extent, that is right. To an extent, you cannot be sitting up. You cannot ask for help. But at the same time, in this truth, you cannot be sitting up here thinking you know. When it comes to this truth, you cannot know what's going on in this Bible, especially if you know just coming in. Some brothers didn't even finish the Bible before they came in this truth. And let alone, not just that, some brothers may not even been able to read and understand what this Bible said before coming into the truth. So it wouldn't make sense for you to, I'm going to just learn on my own. You take things literally, and it's not literally, it's metaphorically. It's spiritually. Like Daniel 2 and Daniel 7. That's not a literal, that individuals think, that's or thinking of the beast. Oh, that's a literal beast. What's going on today? No, it's not a literal beast. You know, things like that. You have to understand what things represent. And that's exactly what you have to learn under a man that's been in this truth. I don't want to make this video too long, but this is something that is definitely something that has to be talked about more. Now, granted, obviously, I'm not no elder, I'm not no apostle, you know, I'm not no camp here, nothing like that. But something like this is very pivotal. You have to be taught. There's no other way you could go around it. There's no other way you can. If you're set up to be a teacher, you're set up to be a teacher. You're set up to be a prophet, you're set up to be a prophet. You're set up to be an elder and an apostle, you would be. And that's something you have to accept. That's something we all have to. That's another thing coming to the truth. You have to humble yourself. And that's just something that we have to all learn. But Lord, when this video is edifying, before I close out, I'd like to give all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashim, Yahweh Shai Bashim, or Kakodash. And Lord, when this video was edifying, and on to the next one. Shalom.